is the most viral piece of content I've posted on TikTok. It's had like 1.4 million views, and it's a very simple GoPro Max edit. So today in this video, I'm gonna show you how to make a GoPro reframe using GoPro Max, or just how I go about editing with my GoPro Max. For those of you that have just bought this camera, make sure before we get stuck into this video that you download the GoPro VR player. So I'll put a link, top link of the description is the GoPro VR player. If you haven't already got that, or if you haven't updated your GoPro app, make sure you do that before we get stuck into this tutorial. I've also put a time code in the top of the comments, because for those of you that just want to see how I'm doing this on their mobiles, then go to the back end of this video. But for those of you that are keen to hang out and watch it on your desktop, welcome. Let's get stuck into it. When I'm shooting with GoPro Max, like the clip that you saw, I was using this, the 270 Pro selfie stick. Spoke a little bit about this in my recent gear video. If you want to check out some of the accessories that I'm using that I take on my travels, my Jake Rich travels, then yeah, click up here or click up here in the cards and you can check out that video. But yeah, it's this really long extendable carbon fiber 270 centimeter selfie stick. So I think this is the coolest selfie stick to use with these 360 cameras. For those of you that are just using Max in hero mode, well, not that, kind of weird. A 270 meter selfie stick for your hero mode content. What's up guys, how you doing? Just making sure that you guys are subscribed. So punch that thumbs up button and check out all of my videos, because I'm making some epic vlogs. Yeah! Are you kidding me? Anyway, I'm using it for 360 content, and I'm setting my camera up to shoot in 5.2K at 30 frames a second. That's how I'm capturing all of my Max content. Also, if I'm not using the 270, I'm using this, I think it's called the Fusion Grip, which is just this little telescopic selfie stick. Tripod as well, attached at the end. So that's just some quick gear tips before we talk about the editing. Hopefully you guys have already got the GoPro VR player downloaded onto your computer. If you haven't, pause this video now, download that. Make sure you have that ready before we get stuck into the tutorial. Reframing and over capturing Fusion content or Max content is what makes it so cool, and it's really what excites me about this technology. And it's come a long way. Previous workflow to this, which you'll discover right now, was... Actually, I'm not even going to tell you what the previous workflow was because it was so difficult. But if you do want to see it, check the video up here where I talk about that. As soon as I open up my folder where I've kept all of my GoPro content, you'll notice that there's a whole range of different files because I've been shooting in different, I've been shooting photos, I've been shooting hero mode content on Max, just to give you an idea. So that's shot in 4:3. I'm pretty sure I was shooting 1080, or no, 1440. Yeah, and then there's some photos here, a little bit sus, me and Johnny, boys. Yeah, so first thing to note is to make sure that you copy all of the content from the SD card on the Max over to your storage device, computer, wherever, because you'll notice some of these .360 files don't show up as thumbnails. So first thing is make sure that you copy absolutely everything, because if you look here, this one, it says .360, but it just looks like a white file that maybe in the past I may have just deleted. So then, rather than opening anything up in Premiere, we can just double click on the video file, the .360 file. Let's go to this one, because this is the one. I just double click on it and it'll open up in the GoPro VR player. How neat. So this is where we'll start doing our reframing and over capturing. As soon as you open up the clip, you'll notice that you can pretty much just click and drag. You can play around with the clip. So right now, if I'm using a Mac and on my trackpad, if I do 2 fingers pull back, it's essentially pulling the perspective out. And if I do 2 fingers to pull in, you see it's going into the tightest field of view it possibly can. If I like play around with it, I can click and drag and it's showing me that 360 goodness. If I click and push up or click and pull down, it's changing that parameter. You'll notice of the VR player that down the bottom left here, I've got a play button. Over on the right here, I've got a zoom and I've got a rotate, hold, curl. This rotate, hold, curl thing is amazing. And I'll show you why, I love it. But anyway, first thing you should do, and just Also, you've got this little scissors icon, which is your trim. You then have a reframe, keyframe icon, and then you've got a grab photo. So the first thing that you do when you first open up this VR player is make sure you just click the keyframe. You'll notice that I've already selected a trim, but your clip, if it hasn't been edited, will just have nothing. It will just create the keyframe. And pretty much what you can do now is click around your, just drag around your video and find the point where you want to start. So for me, I want to start facing me. And I'm going to do two, and I'm going to pull out a little bit. Pull out, and I will hit the keyframe. So that's essentially created my keyframe. So that's where I'm starting. See that? First keyframe. Then all I have to do is scrub along my timeline. I might bring the perspective out a bit, so I'm just sort of zooming out a little bit, and I'm gonna move over so that we can start to see Eve, who's cruising down this sand dune on her sandboard. So I want to see that because I want to bring that into perspective. We essentially want to create the freeze time and then see that go. So this second point, let's just say that it is, let's just say that it's here. I then just hit the keyframe icon again, and you'll notice if I go back and scrub through, you'll see point A to point B, I've created that little rotation there. Again, you can play around with all of these rotations, perspectives, you can fine tweak it. I'm just running you through the keyframing. So the next bit is I want to find the bit where I want to freeze, which is essentially here, like there. I think it's like maybe there, because when I jump, I want to like freeze, and then I want to rotate around and then keep going, right? So this is this snap moment. So here I'm going to hit a keyframe, then I'm going to move over just a little fraction, just so that I'm not hovering over that keyframe, and I'm going to create the freeze time, the pause button right in the middle there. It says freeze time mode, so I can just click on that freeze time mode, go to like right there, right where my jump is, and I'm going to click on it. And it's going to show you that you can choose 3, 2, or 1 seconds of freeze. I'm going to go to the shortest amount of time, which is a second of freeze. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the icon again. It's going to get rid of it. You'll see the blue bar down the bottom there, which has created that freeze. And then I'm just going to move over to the very end of it after the freeze time, and I'm going to create a new keyframe. So I want to rotate like this. I want to rotate around because I'm like frozen here. So I'm rotating around, maybe come out a little bit, maybe come out a little bit. Now, do you remember how I said at the start of this video that this rotation curl hold thing is your best friend? Click on that when you've got to a spot, and then that's gonna, oh my days, that is gonna level up the horizon line so you're not making people feel motion sick. And then click the keyframe again, and there you go. If you just scrub over it, it's gone freeze time, but we're rotating during the freeze, and then she's going again. I think this is even better than the one that I posted on TikTok, but TikTok, man. Yeah, so there's that freeze time. I'm rotating around the camera, and off she goes, which is hella cool, and then I lose my shit. Oh, let's just play the bit where I lose my shit. So down here I can press play. And then I just lose it. I'm losing it. All right, so then all I'll do here is I might create a final keyframe, which is like, click the rotation curl off, because it's gonna give you like, I don't know, just do that, just click it off so that you can, just so you can tweak things a little easier. Okay, so let's say that's our final keyframe. All right, so we've gone, all right, let's just play through it. So let's go back to the start and we'll just hit play, running, she's squealing. Epic, that's it. So now what I would do is I'll go through all of my, each of these keyframes, and I'm going to create a transition between them. To do that, so simple. You'll notice when I hover onto those dotted blue lines, there's a little icon above the blue line, which is a transition icon. I just click on that, and I like to use ease both. So you've got these options, ease in, ease out, ease both, or jump cut. I'm going to ease both. So just from point A to point B, it's like fluid. That is my goal with this kind of content, make it as fluid as possible. And I'm going to hover over each of them, just keep scrubbing along my timeline, and I'm just choosing to ease all of them. So and then I'll click X once I've created all those transition marks. Then let's press play. Press play, so it's a little smoother. Hey, rotates all the way around. Now, I might want to see the jump. See how like I come kind of out of frame? You see that I freeze and it moves a bit. Like if I want to change anything, you know, all I have to do is I just click over one of these keyframes and I just tweak it. So let's say I want this to be like here so you can see my jump. Rotation curl, I bloody love you. Straighten that up. There we go. And then just click the tick. So now you can see I've just fixed that keyframe up. I've literally just moved it to there. So it's just a better keyframe. Rotates all the way around and, oh, what happened there? Okay, so that's that's it. Now, the last little bit that I do is I set the parameters of the clip. So let's just click on this time option here. And because I've already set it at the start, you'll see that it's smaller. But let's say I want to start my clip here while I'm running. I just drag this over here. So that's pretty much where it's going to be. And where I finish, where I'm losing my shit, is like here. I kind of like that it's sort of like I'm running around the selfie stick like that. So 12 seconds, there we go. Now, the coolest part is up here in the top right, I've got this ability to change the frame size. So if I want this to be TikTokable, which I probably should have done when I posted on TikTok, is I should have chosen 9:16. I'm going to export it in 16:9 because I want to publish it to my YouTube channel. So let's hit the export button. Now the export set having a meltdown. The export settings are kind of important. So click the advanced option here. Click on this. If you just choose HEVC, that's not that great, which is the standard preset that it exports in. If you want to be able to keyframe and use Premiere Pro's tools to add keyframing in Premiere, then before you do this keyframing, choose ProRes. I choose ProRes anyway because I think it's the best codec. So I'm choosing ProRes for this, and that's pretty much it. The highest resolution I can export is 1080 because what happens is the 5.2K renders down to 1080. So essentially at any one point, the biggest screen size is 1080. And you'll notice if you have the GoPro Max that when you're using hero mode, the biggest frame size is 1080. You can't shoot 4K max content. So just something to keep in mind, and then this also makes a lot of sense. We're gonna export that like that. Next, it's gonna ask us where I wanna save it. I wanna save it on my desktop-y. So I'm just gonna call it, yeah, dope. Because it is. It is hella dope. And that's pretty much it. So now what I do is I bring this into Premiere and I'd add some sweepers and some sound effects and you know, and I might crop it to 4:5 and there we go. If you want to check out how I edit like 4:5 on Adobe Premiere Rush or even Adobe Premiere, jump up here. I've got some links up here to other videos or in the description below. You can check out those. Just might follow on this workflow when you're editing. But now let's jump onto our mobile. Let's have a look how we do this on mobile. Once you've saved your 360 file onto your app, very simple, just make sure you locate it from the SD card or from the GoPro and click save. Then it'll see, then you can open up your app content, your media content down the bottom there, click on that rather than the camera, and you'll see all of your content. So I've got these 360 files here, which are on my app, and then I'm just gonna click on one of them, which is a 360 video, and you'll notice it's got those 360 global spherical icon. Tap on that. So as soon as you tap that, that's gonna open up the 360 video. Now again, look at that. I can see, look, as I move, it moves. Hella cool, right? Again, you can use your fingers to pinch and pull, zoom in, zoom out. Same concept that we're doing on the desktop, for those of you that watch the desktop version. And yeah, so I'm gonna do the same thing. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna tap down in the very bottom in the middle, and we're gonna create a keyframe. So we're gonna choose where we wanna start. I'm gonna start on my sexy little face here. Oh, hey ladies. Let's just start there. We're gonna make sure it's nice and square. It's a bit whack, but there we go, I'm in the middle. And I'm gonna tap on the keyframe. Tap. There we go, so I've just tapped on the keyframe. Now I'm gonna scrub across. I'm gonna scrub across. So just using like this, just scrubbing across with my finger, and I'm gonna get to the next section. So let's say after 3 seconds, I've moved the timeline forwards, I'm gonna pick another spot. So it's gonna be out the window. So it's gonna be like that, and I'm gonna hit on the keyframe. And now you'll notice if we play that back, if I just scrub back to the start, oh my gosh, it just rotated from point A to point B. So simple, so easy, right? Now, if you want to like do this whilst you're editing, you can add your transitions in. So I can just tap up the top there on that little bit and I can ease in both, ease both, choose that. I can ease out or ease in, but I'm just going to choose ease both. I like that the best. Then make sure you hit done down the bottom. Then I'm going to go to my next keyframe, which will be, maybe I go here, but I just zoom out a little bit. Actually, nah, I'm going to go to like, yeah, that's an interesting perspective. So let's just choose that. I just tap on that and I've created another keyframe. So the camera is rotating from point B to point C. And I'm going to add in my transition up here, ease both, done. Now I'm going to go to my, let's just say my final spot, which is I'm going to whip it to be like, oh, if you want to do like a little whip, create one keyframe, then just scrub over a little bit and then like whip around to the next point, which might be like that, and then tap. So you'll see that it's going to go quickly. You see that? I even made the whoosh sound effect. And then also in that transition, I'm going to do ease both, done. And then I'll put a final keyframe over here, which let's just get to a spot here. I'm just finding another spot, which might be where the whole Great Barrier Reef is above me. And that's going to trip people the heck out on TikTok. Let's click that and I'll add in this transition. There, done. Cool. And if you're happy with that, let's just say I'm editing 15 seconds because I want to do a short Instagram story or something. That's cool. Now I can click on, I can either choose the frame size. At the moment, it's working with the frame size of the mobile, which is 9:16, the aspect ratio, I mean. But now I'm going to select the time, the amount of time that I want. So I'm going to click on the scissors icon in the bottom left, click on that, tap right there on the 15 seconds, then scrub all the way back to the beginning and tap again. And that has created my little video. Now at the top right, I can hit done and I can then hit save and render video. Save, render video. Render the video, and that is gonna render the video. It's gonna save it into my app, and then I'm going to download it to my phone from the app. So to create the freeze reframe effect on the mobile, it's super simple. All I have to do is get to a point. Let's just say this is my first keyframe here. And just after that keyframe, I'm gonna tap on this stopwatch icon down the bottom left of my mobile, and I'm gonna tap on the thing, tap the time bar. I am dyslexic this afternoon, and yes, and then I just scrub it down to a second. So that's basically the 1 second where it's gonna transition from keyframe number 1, it's freezing, but we're still moving, then keyframe number 2, and then hit done. So you'll see that little blue bar down there. Notice that little blue bar. Then I'm gonna go just after it, like as soon as after it, and I'm gonna move, I'm gonna rotate like here, and I might come like, or generally I just like to go from like point A to point B, and I like to make sure that like in the rotation, it's, there we go. It's not, make sure that you don't look a bit weird, you know, like make sure that it's, just make sure the frame looks good, and then we tap there. So that's what's gonna happen. That freeze, it's moving, and then it's gonna keep playing. So I'll play that through. So you see that, it froze, it moves to point B. The thing is the audio cuts, so that's where I find it better to do this either like on your desktop or once you've exported this. So let's say we're happy with that, we're gonna hit save, do the same process, render the video like we did in the last clip. That's rendering. And then what I would do is open up Premiere Rush or any other video editing software on my phone, and I'd add in some little sound effects, just so that when that silent bit there is, you know, it's just not that weird. But I think what happens when it renders is that it plays audio all the way through anyway. It just puts the audio files slightly out of line. Anyway guys, I hope you have liked this video. I hope you've learned something. If you have enjoyed the video, do punch the thumbs up button. Let me know what other kinds of like tutorials you'd like to see on this channel, and if you want to check out any of my other videos, make sure you click the cards in the description or up here in the links below. Punch the thumbs up button, subscribe, turn post notifications on if you are new and you want to see more of this content, or you just like hanging out with me. I'll see you guys in the next upload. JR. Peace!